Hi there and welcome back. My name is Ben from Circle Canoe Games. This is another Finish This Game project. This is Game 2, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So just as a quick refresher, Finish This Game is all about leveling up your game design skills, and especially we're focused on giving you kind of quick, easily completable game designs so you can practice what it actually takes to finish a game design. I know there's so many people out there that have lots of ideas, but they have trouble actually completing them, bringing them full circle to a finished game. And that's what we're all about. Now, we're not about publishing, okay? We're not going into that. We're about fun, hobbyist game making for people that just want to enjoy the process of making a game. Finish This Game is not about getting you published. It's about giving you practice, giving you a quick starting place, a skeleton of a game that you can then finish and make your own. So we're in Game 2, and we're going to start by talking about what the primary mechanic is. The primary mechanic for Game 2 is tile manipulation, and there's a little bit of a puzzle aspect to it. So in this game, you're going to be moving around a tile board, and as you move, you're going to be flipping them over, rotating them, and trying to get them in an orientation that benefits you. As you move around the board, you're trying to align the tiles in such a way that colors match up, and you're going to be collecting rewards for doing so. It's very simple right now, as all the Finish This Game skeletons strive to be. So let's go ahead and look at the components, and we'll start making sense of what this game is all about. And before we jump into that, let me remind you that the print and play downloads are available in the description, and of course you can always find previous projects on my YouTube channel, but probably the quickest way to find it is just to go straight to my website, circlecanoegames.com, and there you'll find the Finish This Game page with all the resources that I've done, brainstorming sessions, lots of great stuff there. So first, let's look at these components. And the most important one would be these tiles. Now I have them printed on paper. These easily could be cardboard tiles, they could be cards, and each one is pretty similar. We have 4 colors on them. We have CMYK at the corners, and then we have some arrows. Let me show you another one here. So there are 36 of these tiles to cut out, pretty quick and simple, and the arrows are pointing a variety of directions, so we get a lot of randomness built in. There's actually 6 of each direction plus the 2-way arrows. The next component would be these tokens right here. Okay, these are very simple. There's no point value to these. There are 25 of these to cut out, so again, really simple. And the last component for the print and play are the player tokens. Of course, there's 4 of them. They come like this, and we just fold into themselves, and so we get this nice little triangle mover guy that we get to move around, and it comes in 4 colors. Of course, there's also the rules, and again, these components are available as a free print and play download that you can get in the description below. So after looking at those components, what's the big idea, the goal of the game? The goal is to be the first player to collect a set number of tokens, and you're going to do that by manipulating the board, the tiles, and moving around and aligning the colors in a particular way. That sounds a little abstract probably, so let's just go ahead and set up the game and take a look at what it looks like. Okay, so here we have Game 2 set up for a 2-player game with a 4x4 grid of tiles with some space in between. And the space, you just want to give them enough space where they can be turning freely without bumping into the tiles next to them. If you had more players, you would set out more tiles for a 3 or 4-player game. So you start the game by turning over the 4 corner tiles. Then each player takes a turn picking one to start on. I'm going to play first player blue, and you would probably pick the one that has an arrow facing in towards the board. That leaves the other player with somewhere else, and he'll just pick this space over here so he has as much space away from the other player as possible. Now play can begin. On each turn you get 4 actions. There are only 2 actions in the game. You can either move to a new tile or you can rotate the board. However, when you move, you must move in the direction of the arrow on the tile you're on. So that means in this case, I would have to move to this tile if I want to move. If I wanted to move this direction, I would first need to rotate. That would be 1 action, and then 2 actions. When you move onto a tile that is upside down, you must flip it. And as part of the game, you would say that you cannot flip and turn and rotate it the way you want. You just need to flip it over, and however it lands is how it lands. So right now, I rotated for one move. I moved for a second move. I'm going to rotate again for my third action, and for my fourth action, I'm going to move to this tile. And that player's turn is done. Now, what I'm trying to do here is to reveal the tiles in a quad, so for instance, these 4 tiles, and get the 4 corners to be the same color. Let's see what player 2 does. So player 2 is going to rotate for the first action and move, which reveals this tile. So that's 2, then 3, and 4. We're back to this turn. He's going to move up 1, 2, and now that 4 tiles have been revealed that are touching each other, we put 1 treasure token right in the middle of those 4. And so now, whoever moves the last corner into place that is the same color is going to get that token. And so now this player must decide, is there an easy way for him to get all the corners here to match? We already have 2 black, so maybe there would be a way that he could arrange to get the other ones. So that was 2, 3, 4. So now he has 3 black corners, and he's trying to get the 4th one to be black as well. But as you can see from the arrows, he's probably going to have to do some maneuvering to make that happen. This player is going 1, 2. Okay, so we can see all 4 of those colors match. So that player's there. And then actually 3, 4, in a single turn, he got all of those to match. So he's now got 2 tokens. Okay, so the blue player now scored 3 tokens in a 2-player game. That means this player would be the winner. It's the first to 3. So that is the basic gameplay of Game 2. And remember, the rules are included in the print and play, so you'll be able to read through. There's a few nuances of ways you're allowed to move or not allowed to move in those rules. Okay, so now you've seen how the game works. Let's think about how you might make it your own. But before we go about just randomly changing things, we want to ask 2 essential questions of yourself. The first one is, what type of game do you want to make? And the second one is, who are you making this game for? So the first one is, what type of game do you want to make, right? Do you want this to play quickly? Do you want it to be more puzzly and more drawn out? Well, that's going to change the way you're thinking about what you want to add or remove from this game. And then the second one, who is this for? As it plays right now, I play with my 4-year-old, and he can play this game. In fact, he has won several games. So this is very accessible for even younger player because there's so few actions that you can take. But maybe you want it to be more aimed at adults. So you might add some things that add complexity. You might think about doing things that increase the amount of time it takes or decrease the amount of time it takes. That would all depend on what audience you're trying to play this game. And again, this isn't talking about a publishing audience. This is talking about who are you going to be playing this game with? Your family members, your friends. And so think about them, what type of games they like to play and what type of games you like to play before you go about changing things. After you've thought about those questions, then you can start saying, well, what do I want to change? Right? Obviously, right now, there is no theme. It's just color. And I think this is a game that, while it works without a theme, it would definitely benefit from having a theme. This would give your movements a little bit more meaning, even though it might be the exact same rules. And so you might think about, well, what would make sense with the mechanics, with what's happening? How would I theme this game? You might think about manipulating the mechanics a little bit, right? Change the way some things interact, add something that makes it a little more complex, or maybe streamlines, gives another goal, right? Are there multiple paths to victory, or is there a way you could implement that in this game? Another thing you could change would be the scoring conditions. Right now it's just whoever can collect a set number of treasures before the other people, but maybe, again, you could add some nuance to that, add something where there are some goals to complete, or a variety of points to score. There are really a million ways you could personalize this game and make it your own, but you always need to circle back to those two essential questions. What type of game do you want to make, and who are you making this for? And so let me just remind you one more time that you can download the free print and play files down below. You can also, at that same link, get the source files. It costs just a couple bucks, and that way you can jump right in and be changing things. The two file formats that I give you to start with are InDesign files. That's what I design in. I also give you a PowerPoint file that would work well in PowerPoint, Google Slides, Keynote. So if you like to use that type of tool for designing, that's very accessible as well. But of course, this is also more than just giving you an idea and letting you run with it. I'm excited to see what you make. I'd love to give you feedback or answer any questions you have. I'd even love to try out your version of this game. So if you want to connect, of course you can leave a comment below, but even better would be to reach out on social. So you can find me on Instagram or on Facebook at Circle Canoe. You can find me on my website, circlecanoegames.com, and I'd love to connect with you and really finish this game project with you. So this has been Game 2. I'm really excited to see what you make, and I will see you in the next video where I'm going to talk about some more brainstorming ideas for this game. See you then. Oh, and one more thing. I almost forgot. If you enjoyed this video, if you like these Finish This Game projects, the tips, the brainstorms, like this video, give me a subscribe. I'd love to keep making more, and every time someone subscribes, it's really encouraging, helps me make more of these videos. So do that for me, and I'll see you in the next video.